Alright, so I'm going to make this video so I can send it to YouTube. This is a preamble. This is just a preamble. It's not, this is just a preamble, okay? There are two can openers. They're far apart, though, very far apart. I could give you a latitude and longitude, but that wouldn't be helpful because they're in places that are inaccessible. It means they can't be removed by force of arms. So these are two can openers. The one can opener is under two flags. So there's two flags flying, and one of the can openers is lying very close to the two flags, but fly high above fairly substantial historic building. Okay, now sometimes people call me Jack. Sometimes people call me Scratch. Okay. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I say is, of course, the problem. And the problem for me is that I'm at the short end of my stick. So, but the other can opener is in a park. Where's the park? Where's the most famous park that you know of? You might say Central Park, well, maybe, or Golden Gate Park, maybe. Or you might say, I'm lost. I don't know where it is. You know where it is. So anyway, that's the problem. That is the problem. The park is the site of the second can opener. So when it's the first can opener, well, what can openers do? They open up cans of worms mostly. So when the first can is opened by the can opener, you'll know that the second can opener is very close to being readied for demolition. And of course, usually when they have a house that's being demolished, like I'm in a house that's probably going to be demolished, well, there's always room for new occupants. So I'm gonna recap. This is a preamble. This is just a preamble. So take it for what it is, a preamble. What I'm going to do later is more significant and more along the lines of my usual activities. Since I do work for the CIA and I have, had training, sort of. Yeah, I kind of actually pick people just kind of like based on their, they're like literally their DNA. Really. The CIA doesn't actually recruit people based on like intelligence or scores on tests, or rigorous training, physical training. No, they don't. They don't choose people like that. They literally look at your DNA. Once they see your DNA, then they'll know if you're suitable. So evidently, when they found my DNA was suitable for their purposes, they allowed me to walk right in. Pass, you may go. So I got a free pass to go into the CIA. They don't pay me though. I told them, they asked me what kind of salary I wanted. I mean, the usual and customary salary for an operations officer at the CIA is, even one that's non-official cover, is someone who hasn't actually have officially a recognized position within the CIA, which is me. And they usually pay him like $47,000 or $48,000 a year. But when I did my application in 2008, I applied on the 9th of November 2008. I mean, I know because I have a printed copy of my application. But anyway, when I applied, they asked me how much money I wanted, and I said, none. But I had to put something in there, so I just put in 0.00.00.00. So, yeah, you can see where I'm going with this, don't you? The grounds for my my insistence that I not be paid is simple. I don't believe that working for the CIA is actually a job. It's more like a calling. So, I mean, literally, it's almost like a mission from God. God comes down and says, "Hey, you're going to be the one, so I'm going to be the one." So that's what it is. I look at it as a calling, as a holy office. And anyway, so the problem with working for the CIA is, of course, the universal problem, which is that people try to kill you all the time. I mean, they're trying to kill you all the time. I got to watch my back, 365 days a year, 366 days a year, actually. I got to watch for the leap years. Anyway, that's not that funny, really. I don't make really funny jokes anymore. I actually never could make funny jokes. And if I would tell a story to a group of college students, like let's say I was living in Alexandria, Virginia, for instance, hypothetically, and I was going to tell a group of my fellow college students. Let's say I was going to George Washington University. I don't know, just for the hell of it. Let's just make this up. And I would say, I'm going to tell you a story, a funny story. Ha ha ha. Well, anyway, I'd tell the story to the students, to the other students. I'm a student too. And shit, they wouldn't laugh. A lot of times it's not in the storytelling. That it's not the story itself, it's the delivery. So you have to look for the delivery mechanism. So anyway, one thing I've noticed of late is that when you make a phone call, all right, here I am. I am a terrorist. Let's say hypothetically I'm a terrorist, or let's say I'm trying to get in the head of a terrorist, and I'm trying to figure out what does a terrorist really want. Well, the terrorist wants to see his or her or its effect on the world. He or she or it wants to see their effect on the world. So they don't want to actually blow themselves up. They don't want to nuke themselves. They don't want to put their head in a microwave or anything. No. They want to. I'm just using a microwave as an example. Some people say, I'm going to nuke this. Well, that's actually a discussion of using microwaves to heat up, materials to consume. But the mass quantities that we might be figuring on is a 5 kiloton device. And the 5 kiloton device, you can multiply by 2. And then you can multiply that by 2. So you get a rough idea of what the yield is. I actually have a calculator on my phone, which I'm using right now, to actually figure out which is the kill zone, which is the the zone of contamination, fallout. Pretty much. You get really good statistics. Actually, when I was in Livermore, I found they have an actual calculator instead of a circular. And anyway, and it kind of rotates like this. See, I rotate. So anyway, and you can actually, calculate megadeaths. I don't think I have a problem calculating megadeaths today. Nope. The reason is because how many people are alive on the planet Earth, system Sol, Milky Way galaxy? Just one person. There's only one human left in the whole fucking world. Why is that? You can say, oh, why is there only one human on planet Earth? The system Sol, that's S-O-L, Milky Way galaxy. The reason is because to have a soul, I mean literally S-O-U-L, is to be a human. If you don't have a soul, then you are not human. I mean, technically, you're an animal. You're actually, even animals have souls, but you're actually less than an animal. You're lower than an animal. So the problem is that we have 7 billion walking corpses like that, and but there's only one with a soul. Now you might say this is very strange. I'm uncomfortable with your conversation. It doesn't make any sense. Why should there be 7 billion soulless meat sacks walking the planet? It's because we've been invaded. We've really been taken over by something unholy and really bad. The good news is that this is my father. I mean, my true father. Up there. He says that we only need one soul. One soul is sufficient to hold together the whole planet, the whole solar system, the whole Milky Way galaxy, the whole universe. Only one soul is required. So as long as there's a soul in a human on the planet Earth, time will not stop. Time will continue. All right, so I'm just making this philosophical discussion, sort of a hypothetical. If you've looked into, idea of free energy, Tesla, different processes in terms of, they have superconductivity. I think there's superfluidity, and then there's anyway, the thing is though, in addition to the philosophical discussion, I'm going to make a little slight scientific discussion. There is a theory that there is only one electron in the whole